Hello, my Mercurial mercenaries. It's obvious what this video is about. It's in the title. However, this is going to be a long, rambling story. So before you press a thumbs down, just be aware of that and move on if you don't like long. This is a review of the recent London Brixton Academy King Gizzard and the Gizzard gig, which I went to. I'll be honest with you, I intended to record this video sooner, but a woman coughed in my face, so I have been ill with man flu. Men out there, you know what I'm on about. It struck me down. Brixton was a cool place to hang out. Usually I stay in Covent Garden, but we're in Brixton. I take a walk over to the Brixton Academy, and there you see it. King Gizzard and Gizzard written across. Now, it's quite a long band name, and it's quite nice to see it stretched out across the front of the Brixton Academy. Never did the Brixton Academy think they'd use so many Zerds, my mercenaries. And I was standing there looking up at King Gizzard with the perfect 10, and it dawned on me that King Gizzard and Lizard is an incredibly silly band name, my mercenaries. And it's funny how band names grow on you, but looking at it up there on the Brixton Academy, it reminded me of the first time I heard the band name. And then someone said, you should listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And back then I thought, you what? And I probably had the same reaction as every time I've told someone recently that I was going to go and watch King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and everyone goes, what? King Jizz and the Seven Sisters of who? But then you've got album after album and the artwork, and you keep saying the name again and again. There comes a point where you know it's the Lizard Wizard and not the Wizard Lizard. And then you see the name up there and you think, that looks incredibly silly. But this is the band that I'm here to see. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. So we're hanging out in Brixton, and I Google things to do in Brixton, things to see. And there's a Bowie memorial to be seen in Brixton because Bowie was from Brixton. He's their guy. So we're walking around and I see a little independent coffee shop. And me and the Perfect 10, we go in there and we sit down. Get our coffee first, then we sit down. And I'm listening. I think, hang on, that's interesting. I say to the Perfect 10, that's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And she goes, oh my God. What, over there? And I look across and there's a bloke sitting on a stool and a bloke serving coffee. And I'm like, you what? And she goes, is that King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? And I'm like, no, playing on the stereo. It's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Perfect 10, it's not that, well, she's not a fan, but she also doesn't know anything by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And hours before the concert, this was her first experience. They played the whole of Flying Microtonal Banana. And it was at this point that, I know it's a fan favourite, Rattlesnake, but just sitting in this coffee shop listening to it, Rattlesnake, 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 rattles me, Rattlesnake, 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 rattles me, Rattlesnake, Rattlesnake, Rattlesnake. I think the Perfect 10 at this point is thinking, this is one of those bands, isn't it, that just repeats a word again and again and again. And I let her run with that. It wasn't worth correcting her, my mercenaries, but it was at this point I realised that I can see why Rattlesnake is a fan favourite. And I'm sitting there listening to Rattlesnake, Rattle. I look through the window, Rattlesnake, and the David Bowie memorial was just there on the wall opposite this thing. It's just there. I'm watching it. I'm thinking that's total coincidence. Rattlesnake, David Bowie, Rattlesnake, rattles me. This, I think, is going to be a good day. This is coincidence. 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 Doesn't work. I can see why they went with Rattlesnake, my mercenaries. We'll leave the cafe, get a quick picture of me, like that, with a Bowie memorial. Then we think, what should we do now? We think, we're going to walk over to Battersea Power Station so we can get our picture. You know, there's no pigs flying there. In fact, it's just all construction works. But we can have a day of Bowie, of Floyd, and King Gizzard. Brixton Academy, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Doors open at 7. And it gets to 6 o'clock. And the Perfect 10's brought me a coffee and a cake. Very relaxed. And I'm saying, I think, Perfect 10, we should actually go to the Brixton Academy now because we're leaving this a little bit late. And she's like, well, doors open at 7. And I'm like, gigs like this, I think there's going to be 5,000 people there. There might be a little bit of a queue. I think we should go. The Perfect 10 bought these tickets for me as a present. And she unfortunately used a disreputable website, which I will probably bang on about another day. But because of that, the names on the tickets were James Cranky or something similar. Not my name, not the Perfect 10s, but James Cranky. And I'm saying, this will be all right. As long as they don't ask for ID on the door to match with the names on the tickets, we're going to be all right. And she said, well, you know, I've got the details on my phone of the buying, so it'll be all right. So we walk into the gig. It's about 6:15. Doors open at 7. Walking along. And at this point, she says, but my phone ran out of batteries, ran out of charge, so I left it behind. So we got nothing. And I'm thinking, that's all right. It's good. We'll get to the door, no phone, we'll be fine. Oh, I'm James Cranky now, and you're James Cranky. We're both James Cranky. It's absolutely fine. We get to the Brixton Academy. There's a fair queue, not too many people, a few hundred maybe. Join the back of the queue, it's fine. A few oddities in the queue. There's a girl there dressed as a court jester with stars on her face. I'm thinking, this is a sign of things to come. But to be fair, most people are just wearing your usual gigging shit. I actually had a King Gizzard Lizard is a t-shirt on, but I thought, you know, I don't want to be one of those people who wears the King Gizzard t-shirt to the King Gizzard gig, so I put a shirt on over it. So I had the correct t-shirt with a shirt on over it, covering it up. So I see this girl walking down the queue, talking to people. I'm thinking, what's all that about then? She walks up to us, and she says, hi, any of you have O2 priority, whatever? And Perfect 10's like, yeah, we're O2. And the girl says, oh, cool, can you prove it? Got your booking reference or whatever? And Perfect 10's like, yeah, it's on my phone. No phone. And this girl just looks at us and goes, well, can you prove you're on O2? And I just get my phone out of my pocket and flash it at her. And she reads, it says O2 on it. And then she pulls us out of the queue and puts us at the front of the queue. So now I'm at the front of the King Gizzard Lizard Wizard queue. And because of that, my mercenaries, we're basically the first people in. Now, we had tickets for the upstairs bit, the balcony bit. And historically, I much prefer just to be standing, looking at the band like this, not up, like looking down like that. But whatever. I was with the Perfect 10, and it made sense. And we were the first people on this balcony. We got to pick the seats. So we picked the seat right at the front. Right at the front. The front balcony in the centre. The front's the best seat. The front centre. Only downside, you can't stand up. And they kept telling me, they kept pointing a torch in my face and kept saying to me, you can't stand up. You won't stand. Not that you can't stand up, mate. You won't stand up. And I thought, nope, it's all right. I can pretend, for the purposes of this gig, I can pretend that I am in Forrest Gump and I'm about to open a shrimp establishment. And I thought, I'm going to sit here like a good boy and watch King Gizzard like that, like that. So first things first, the Mild High Club, come on. Now, honestly, I thought these guys were taking it all a bit too easy. Now, there's an element of this which is biased because in my time on stage, I would always give it everything. Now, it might be that they were giving it everything. It might be they were giving it everything in that kind of lounge, lizard, skip tracing sketches of Brunswick East manner. But for me, it was all a little bit, and a little bit mumbly. Honestly, I think the venue was too big for them. Cavernous. They're just sort of throwing it out there. Whoa! And it was just kind of clattering around the walls. As Perfect 10 said to me, she said, I thought this was sold out. Not a lot of people here. And I said, Perfect 10, what you've got to understand is this is the support band. Everyone's probably outside, pissing around at the bar. No one watches support bands. I watch support bands. I said to Perfect 10, I watch support bands. Right? I'm that person. But no other bugger cares. And because of that, there wasn't any people in the room and it wasn't absorbing the sound. So the sound was clattering around and it didn't do Mild High Club any favours. However, they did play at least 3 songs that I loved. And I did enjoy them. But my comment to the Perfect 10 as they were playing was, this guy, this singer, has the charisma of a rubber duck. And then she said to me, as they're playing, well, Kermit the Frog would like them then. I just shrugged. Sometimes when something goes like that, I don't know. Apparently, Kermit's best friend was a rubber duck. So then King Gizzard come on. Now, they tweeted beforehand that they were going to play 2 sets. And I assumed that we'd have one set being probably with the Mild High Club, a kind of sketches of Brunswick East acoustic thing. And I was kind of not looking... I didn't want that to happen. And bear in mind that I kind of wish I'd seen King Gizzard around the time of Nonagon Infinity. I'd love to see that album played. I was going to say from start to finish. Doesn't quite work, does it? But you know what I mean. But the thought of one of the sets being like an acoustic, more of this kind of lounge jazz thing, wasn't doing it for me. But they started with Rattlesnake. And like I said earlier, I'm getting why that's such a fan favourite. And it kicked ass. This song kicks ass. And I finally got to see the 2 drummers. I was looking down on them. looking down on them. 2 drummers facing each other. And I was even like that, playing, and I say to people, the thing with King Gizzard is he's got 2 drummers who basically play exactly the same thing together. And then people say to me, well, what's the point of that? Well, why not just have one drummer and have him a bit louder? And, I don't know. They got 2 drummers. So Rattlesnake kicks ass. And it becomes apparent that the first set is the microtonal set, which makes sense. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard were everything I wanted them to be, in that they were on the attack, they were bludgeoning, they were forceful, they were a wave of sound. Relentless. That's the word I'm looking for, relentless. They played bits and pieces off all the 5 albums from 2017. Luckily, very little off sketches of Brunswick East. Not that that's a bad album, but I think it was overall my least favourite, and it was certainly the one I was, as I've just said a minute ago, I wasn't really looking forward to a kind of sit down on cushions and let's all cross legs and have joss sticks moment. It wasn't. As I just said, it was relentless. And now, having seen them live, I get a feel for the power of the 2 drummers live. I get a feel for which person in the band sings which song. I get a feel of King Gizzard as an entity rather than as a group of people who are constantly trying to be different. I can see that they are a band. And at the Brixton Academy, they were just coming at you relentlessly. See, I've said it again. I mustn't say relentless anymore. But coming at you with songs spanning such different albums, but in a way, all sounding totally cohesive and similar, because they were just played so frenetically and so powerfully. So you've got Flying Microtonal Banana sitting easily against Murder of the Universe, sitting easily against Polygon Land, and then the first set finishes. And a few of the videos I've seen of theirs, they've got this theme that runs. It's like they're all recorded on 80s VHS tape, all wavering around a little bit Stranger Things. And on their backdrop, between set 1 and set 2, there's a countdown timer, counts down from 15 minutes. With some music that was just building and building and building. I'm not sure who the music was. Tell me below, my mercenaries, who the music was by. But music just building and building, and it was cacophonous. Some of the music was actually louder than both bands. I'll be honest with you, my mercenaries. Every band that plays live should have a countdown timer, even if they don't play 2 sets. Just the tension that countdown provides. Just ticking down 10, 9, 8, 7. In everyday life, we should all have countdown timers. I want one on my back. If we could have a jacket, yeah, and there's a countdown timer built into the back in 80s wavery VHS, just counting down. All day long, just counting down. Providing tension. Providing gravitas to every mundane situation. All situations in your life could be improved by a bloody 80s VHS countdown timer. And King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard know this. They know this, my mercenaries. It was great. It was great. And we were all there and we were all entranced by it, looking at 10, 9, 8, 7, building up, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And King Gizzard come back out for set number 2. The non-microtonal set. There's no sketches of Brunswick East acoustic nonsense, my mercenaries. It's just bludgeoning again. And the Nonagon is on the screen. And they play stuff from Nonagon Infinity. And I'm happy. And I'm looking at perfect 10 and she's... And I'm thinking, yes, I'm happy. And this band are bludgeoning and they're relentless. Yeah, I said it again. And there's very little talking between songs. It's just coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. And the end of Gamma Knife. And the end of Gamma Knife. And it's over. And I look out at the crowd, peer over the balcony, and it's over. And honestly, it was really good. And I turn to the perfect 10, and I say, so what did you think, perfect 10? And she said, I preferred Mild High Club. Thank you, my Mercurial mercenaries. Till next time. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you like it, do that. If you don't like it, do that. Everything. What you want to do. Over and